So, Mazel Tov to Mendel Teitelbaum, Mitzshem Shatev Mislachas. There's a bris today at 11 o'clock. We'll be there, Mitzshem. No promises, because if I promise, then I gotta be there. Number one. Number two, don't forget to sell your chametz. Number three, don't forget to get rid of your chametz. Number four, we're about to start Tanya. So if you want to talk, just go to the other room and close the door behind you, please. Thank you very much. Today is the 10th of Nissan, April 18th. We're going to start chapter 41 in the Tanya. Today we're going to talk about fear, fearing Hashem. What is this all about? Do I have to live in fear as a Jew? We have enough to worry about. So what's this Yiras Hashem all about? In today's lesson, another fundamental principle before we do a mitzvah, as far as a premeditation is concerned. What are we supposed to think before we do a mitzvah? What are we supposed to do? All of existence and its fulfillment awaits me. Everything, we have this saying that when you're born, it's the Eibishter saying that the world cannot exist without you. You like that? So your kid, now that he's born, it's Hashem saying the world cannot exist without him. So by you, when you're about to do a mitzvah, maybe the whole world is waiting for you to perform this particular mitzvah. Think about this incredible, awesome responsibility. Hashem is putting everything aside and focusing on my individual submission to his will and the execution of this mitzvah. It could be, as me and Ellie were going back and forth last night about Baal Teshuvas versus the performance of a mitzvah. The Rebbe taught us that one mitzvah can tip the scale to bring Mashiach. So imagine you put a coin in the box, you think it's no big deal, you put it in there. What if that's the mitzvah that's going to tip the scale? And suddenly Mashiach is coming, you hear the sounds of the shofar, and everything is amazing. So before you do that, you're like, wow, everything is reliant on this deed right now. As mentioned in the title page of the Tanya, we mentioned the pasuk, this thing is very near to you in your mouth and in your heart that you may do it. So it's really within your reach. But what do we have to do? We have to think about Hashem when we do a mitzvah with love and with fear. And we're able to do it. We're able to accomplish it. In chapter 41, the Alter Rebbe goes on to say that fear of Hashem is the beginning and the core of the Avodas Hashem. This is not only regarding the negative mitzvahs. Obviously, we think, chas v'shalom, if we violate something, then we're going to be punished. Not just that, but also with a mitzvah's aseh, a mitzvah that we should do. When we take a step back and we say, we have a tremendous responsibility. We better do this the right way, the perfect way, with all the right intentions. Otherwise, maybe the whole reason why we were born and the whole reason why the earth was put into existence will fail because maybe it's waiting for this moment. So it should give us pause and trepidation before we perform a mitzvah. A person should constantly bear in mind that in the beginning of he's about to do a service for Hashem, what should he do? What is it? It's this fear of Hashem. Also, of course, it incorporates love. You wouldn't do it if you didn't do it out of love for your Father in heaven. But this fear is maybe a new concept. This means that although fear is the root of turning away from evil and doing good, meaning fear of Hashem is what basically urges one to refrain from doing something where his mind is pulling him in an opposite direction of positive things. So we have to push that idea away and not transgress. While loving Hashem is basically what motivates one to perform a mitzvah and a positive commandment. You need to make favor, please go give me a drink of water. My throat's like down. It's not enough to just do good. Before he begins to do the good, he first has to arouse at least a little bit the positive commandment that one must first have fear, which is in every heart of a Jew, in every Jewish heart. Believe Kol Yisrael. Shaloi limroid lemelech malchei amlachim hakadosh baruch hu kinizker le'il that he should not rebel against Hashem, the Holy One, blessed be He, as stated above. So that this fear should at least, he should think about it for a moment in his mind and in his heart before he does a mitzvah. So ultimately, a Jew should be able to create a feeling of fear in his heart through thinking about Hashem's greatness. Think about everything that Hashem does for me. Yes, that obviously brings out the love, but it also brings out fear. I don't want to disappoint in any way. How could I do anything that would hurt or go negative or go opposite Hashem? This degree of fear is attainable. All it needs is a little bit of thought process. Obviously, the more we think about it, the more it will manifest. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shaknu l'bari. Dehainu lispoinim b'machshavtoi al kol panim migdulas eisei baruch hu l'malchusei. Person should think about the greatness of Hashem. Asher hi malchus kol ilamim. Hashem extends to all the worlds, the higher worlds, the lower worlds, ayenim v'tachtenim, above and below. V'ihu memala kol amin, and Hashem fills the entire world, not just us, our neshama, not just in the holy ark and on the bima and in the siddur, but in every single thing that exists in the world. V'soiviv kol amin, and not just permeates the entire world, but also surrounds the entire world. The pasuk says, "Do I not fill the heavens and the earth?" Yet He leaves aside the creatures of the higher worlds and the creatures of the lower worlds. Hashem partners with us, and He bestows His kingship upon His people in general. For Hashem is the king of Bnei Yisrael, and upon each individual in particular. And a person is obligated, therefore a person is obligated to say, for my sake the world was created. Bishvili nivra. Because of me, the world was created in order what? To fulfill this particular mitzvah and to connect to Hashem. So how can you go into a mitzvah just, by just saying the davening or putting on the tefillin and rushing off? Could you imagine the world may have been created for you to accomplish this mitzvah of putting this coin in the box? So Jews should remind themselves that the whole purpose and intent of creation relates to himself specifically, that Hashem become king over him. This realization that Hashem bestows His kingship upon each individual in particular touches a responsive chord within a person, and he is then more apt to demand of himself that he accept the heavenly yoke, to accept whatever Hashem puts upon him. For he, for his part, accepts the kingship upon himself. Once a person does this mitzvah, now Hashem accepts upon himself. A king needs the nation to accept him. A king needs, there's no king without the people. So when we do our part, now Hashem agrees to be king over us. For a person accepts kingship upon himself, and that he accepts Hashem as king over him, to serve him and to do Hashem's will in all kinds of service of Hashem, avodas eved, whatever Hashem asks us to do. So this acceptance of the yoke of divine service is required of all Jews. So the takeaway for today is always be mindful of perhaps the most basic element of divine service, that we are in the presence of Hashem, even if we don't think we're actually doing a mitzvah. Right at this moment, I'm not giving tzedakah, I'm not putting on tefillin, but every moment that we exist, we're servants of Hashem. We should be mindful of that, and we should feel the awe of being in God's circle, and that will certainly elevate our avodas Hashem in general and our service of Hashem when it comes to doing a mitzvah in particular. Everyone have a wonderful day, and Levi's here prepping for his birthday, which is tonight and tomorrow, same birthday as our Rebbe Yudalf Nissan. Have a good day, everyone.